Welcome to Cups and Courage. Today's guests are Anna and Katie. Anna and Katie are childhood friends, and they were both diagnosed with exactly the same type of breast cancer within 2 years of each other. Cups and Courage, the podcast. Ladies, welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning.
No, thank you for inviting us.
You're really looking forward to this conversation. So, Anna and Katie. As a starter, I'm going to have a look at what biscuits you brought. So, here we go. Okay, beautiful. This is wonderful. Okay, so we have, what are these ones called? I don't know what these ones are called.
Those are crunch creams.
Crunch creams. Thank you. They're quite posh, actually, aren't they? So, I'll enjoy that. And are these
jam and cream?
Jam and cream,
right?
So not, they're a bit of a jammy dodger situation.
Elevated
jammy dodger. Yeah. So I've taken a couple. Would you like some biscuits?
Oh,
yes,
thank
please.
you.
There you go.
Go.
So was the jam and cream was?
That was me.
Jam and cream was yours.
Take one of each.
And the elevated jammy dodger was yours. Any reason, or we just gone for lovely tasting ones on?
These are my favourites, so that was an easy pick.
Yeah, mine's the same. I think just something that I enjoy.
Very nice.
Thought you might like them too. We've actually got quite similar.
We have gone
quite
similar.
Yeah. Structure
Yours
wise,
is just maybe a bit more sophisticated than mine.
We could unpick that a little bit. But okay. I don't know you, so we'll get there. Thank you. Okay, and then the next tradition that we have is obviously our podcast is called Cups and Courage. So I always like to ask our guests what their own definition is of courage. And so who wants to go?
I'll go.
You go.
I'll go. So for me, it is talking about it. It's getting it out there. I think, honestly, Katie and I were both delayed on that score of putting it out on social media, and so on. So actually, Katie, I don't want to speak for you, but you was a whole 9 months before
I shared anything.
Right.
Without, with other than the people that were sort of closest to
immediate.
me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for myself, I'm a big sharer on Instagram. I have lots of posts on there, and yet to this day, I've still only done 2 based around this. So I think it's hard to talk. I think you would. You think you'd really, scream it from the rooftops. You'd want to help people. You'd want to talk about it. You'd want to raise awareness, and you do. But it's really daunting, actually. So I think it's quite courageous to come out there and talk about it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, it is so interesting, isn't it, about when you choose to share, especially in a world of social media, when you can connect very, very quickly. But I think it's right.
Absolutely.
The minute that you open that, you don't know what you're going to get back as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you. Okay, and what about you, Kate?
So I'm similar, but I'm sort of along the lines of courage for me was moving forward, doing the things that I didn't necessarily want to do, had to do for myself, and being sort of putting myself out there, being able to do it, not necessarily wanting to.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. So should we get straight into it? This is quite a unique story, lived experience that you share, and have got some, there's some similar threads that are running through this, but also some differences, quite a lot of differences. So I'm gonna pass the baton over here, and let's go. So do you want to?
Yeah, I guess it kind of starts with me. So my sister was diagnosed in 2018 in the November. So we knew nothing about breast cancer before this situation. It kind of came from nowhere. There's no family history. We don't know where that came from. So that was my sister, and she went through her treatment. So she had the mastectomy, the full lymph node clearance, and she had the radiotherapy. She then had the oophorectomy.
So oophorectomy, just for anybody who's it's all this lingo that we just talk right new dictionary, but for anybody who's listening, so an oophorectomy is a removal of the fallopian tubes in the ovaries, but the uterus stays with us. Great,
that's exactly it. So my sister had all of the above, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, as I say, and I was fortunate in a way because it was 2019, so I could literally go and hold her hand throughout all the chemo. So it was before lockdown, so that was something. We did it all together. And then she was good for a while through COVID, but she wasn't really getting checked, as we know it happened at that time. So when she eventually went back to her oncologist in 2021, and she had the back pain, they did a scan, and unfortunately at that point it was terminal, and she passed in the July of 2021. I'd already felt a lump myself, and so I had gone in March of 2021, so when Kate was still very much with us, and I had that checked. It was a very quick ultrasound. I was late 30s at the time, so...
So you'd found a lump yourself?
Absolutely, whilst my sister is literally going through, yeah.
And they then did an ultrasound and
it was very quick, and it was the 1st of March 21, so I don't know if we still sort of class that as COVID, but it was rushed. And I was told it's all good, you're okay, and I just took that because realistically speaking, my sister's in this position. Katie has also joined the club at this point, unfortunately.
In January 21.
January 21.
Wow, 21 was a bitch.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right. So, law of averages, I thought, well, my sister's going through it, my best friend's going through it, can't possibly, they're telling me I'm all right. Of course I'm all right. It can't be me. So I accepted it very much on face value, and off I went. I then did reach out again a couple of years later, because although I say there was no family history, once my sister had passed, obviously that was major for me. And then a couple of my mum's cousins, so I know it is quite distant, but I thought, well, that plus that, maybe that equates to something.
Have they done any genetic testing? Have they checked you for anything?
No,
they
said no.
Or your sister?
No, nothing.
Okay.
No, they said there wasn't enough. So I got told again that there wasn't enough, and I still wasn't quite 40, so I just wasn't ticking any boxes. So I waited until I was 41 just to make sure. Still had this lump, still wasn't happy about it. And so I asked if I could just have annual mammograms. I didn't actually go back with the lump itself. I just said, my sister's passed, I've still got that, can I just have an annual mammogram?
My brain is already kind of shattering at this point. So you still have a lump, and they have said, well, we've checked it from an ultrasound point of view. It doesn't look suspicious.
Yeah.
We think it is
fibroiditis, or
so.
And at this point, obviously, I'd started treatment and was going through things, and we're saying to Anna, go back, push, go back, push. Because
I literally felt yours, didn't I? And I went, that feels like mine.
Yeah, we felt each
Ridiculous.
I mean, I know. Yeah, I get that.
And it was more a case of, you need to go, even if it's just to put your mind at rest, and mine, and other people who you're close to, who were saying the same thing, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's 2023 by this point, so it's moved on a bit. And I just thought, I'm 41, I'll just ask for annual mammograms. So I went back and I sat down with the genetics, and we went through the scenario again, and she said, oh, your mum's cousins don't count, it's just your sister, which really grates on me, but it's just your sister. Yeah. So I was like, okay. She said, is there anything else? I said, well, I've still got this lump, it doesn't sit well with me. So she felt it, and she said, clinically, that feels like nothing. You're here now. Okay, I'll do your mammogram.
I don't even understand. I mean, okay, I'm not a medical professional, but that sentence in itself, clinically, that feels like nothing. Because it's a palpable lump. I don't know how you distinguish.
I could do this with it. I could, it didn't come and go. It was there.
Yeah. I don't know enough, right, about what a non-cancerous lump feels like versus a cancerous lump. But it seems that doesn't feel a robust enough statement,
right,
for something that hasn't gone
right
after so long.
Yeah. So I went and had the mammogram, and then it just kind of snowballed. I think I knew. I'd been in there. They asked me to go in the waiting room. They then called me in for a 3D mammogram, but only on the one side. I think at that point I was like, okay. Then they did the biopsy, so on and so forth. So I go back into the room, and she's very apologetic. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Clinically, it felt like nothing. And I said, why, have you seen something definitive? I'm thinking they've found something, but obviously I don't know. So I'm saying, have you found something definitive? And she said, your results will be with you next week. So then I'm upset, which isn't like me.
No.
But I was on my own. I was, because I'd just gone to genetics. I didn't think any of this was going to happen. They weren't great, I'm not going to lie. It was a bit like, she just said, do you want to leave? Luckily, there was a healthcare assistant in the room who had been to school with my sister, and so she knew the situation, and she was much better, and she led me out of a back way so that I didn't walk back through the room of the ladies that were suffering. And do you know what I mean? So that was slightly better. So I go back 6 days later, and it's all confirmed, and it's exactly the same as my sister. So they then agree to do genetics. But the interesting thing is, all three of us had invasive lobular cancer. So none of us were ductal, none of us were Paget. It's not, there's all these different, and yet all three of us were invasive lobular cancer. We've got photos from 20, 30 years ago, all together, and you'd come round when you had your diagnosis, and Kate was talking through as much as she could with you, and I'm just in the room nodding along, completely oblivious at this point in 2021. And it's just bizarre that all three of us in these photos, all three of us got the exact same diagnosis, and all 2018, 2021, 2023. There was no break.
But all different outcomes.
Massively.
And different stories from that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So for, obviously, for Kate, she's no longer with us. For myself was... At first glance, it looked like it would just be a lumpectomy radiotherapy, which again is just what they say. But that was going to be my path. I had the lumpectomy, and after the lumpectomy, I went back for my appointment afterwards, thinking that it was going to be like, this is when radio is going to start. And then they came back to me and said, actually, when we checked your lymph nodes, it was in 2 of the 3 lymph nodes that we took, and then. Also, the consultant said that when they'd done the surgery, they had found other patches of tissue that had cancer cells in them. So luckily they took them for a biopsy. So then for me, the path after that was chemo, mastectomy, and then reconstruction and radiotherapy. So,
and that was 2021?
That was 2021, and still... with all the COVID restrictions, so most of what I did alone.
You did. Yeah, it was wildly different.
So even my husband was allowed to come with me to my appointment when they told me about the cancer, but after that, most of the time he was sat in a corridor waiting. Chemo was by myself.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's where my courage came in on my first chemo appointment, because I remember sitting in the waiting room outside to go in. I had to do a COVID test, so I had to go and have that and wait. And then sitting in there, I could have quite easily stepped back outside. But courage helps you to move forward, doesn't it? So
you did it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you had to go through all that alone. Because I think if you choose to kind of go through those things on your own, then that's one thing. If actually everything in you wants those that you love, and they want to be able to support you as well.
Yeah.
And you have, you've got a choice. You're right. You can just step out and go, we're not doing this. Actually, I'm not doing it. But to keep moving through, even though you're on your own, with all those thoughts and everything, without your 2 closest people. Mm-hmm. As well, in terms of friends who've all been there and supporting each other. You're right, that is very courageous.
I did find that although I was alone without my family and friends with me, I did make friends during those appointments and during those times, and I don't think I ever sat anywhere and felt very alone.
Yeah.
And you sort of have those connections with the people you sat with as well, don't you? You sort of start talking to people and sort of
But that's courage in itself as well, because I think I was so angry during my chemotherapy. I remember having a hoodie. I was so rude to people because I wanted to be anywhere but, you know, and I really hadn't processed any of that stuff. That actually I couldn't make those friendships and connections because I just wanted to. I was almost in denial that this was what was happening. So I thought, actually, if I have human connection, it's going to make it all the more real. So it's funny, isn't it, about how we so different in terms of how we move through stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2023. We're still in 2021, moving through now. So bring me up to kind of the current day.
So this was December 2023 for myself.
Yes.
So my actual surgery was January 24.
Okay.
So just last year.
Yeah.
And then my radiotherapy went from April into May. I didn't have to have chemotherapy, and actually the genetics came back with nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't know if there's something we haven't found yet, because it just still blows my mind that it was the exact invasive lobby, like grade 2 to even that definition. It was grade 2. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite difficult to accept that that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at. Nothing. They did do everything. They literally got sent off. I did get, lots tested, not just BRCA1 and 2, a lot of different genetics.
But what we do know is there are more coming out all the time.
Yeah.
So
I do wonder.
Yeah. And so
absolutely.
if you had that done in another 5 years,
yes.
The ones that they're talking about, then, might be
We
different.
never
Because
know.
I agree, that seemed very,
Yeah.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah. It's just a bit, So we'll see on that front, I guess.
Might be a coincidence. I've just made a very big statement about something, right? So,
might of
be,
course.
but...
It could be. It's just difficult to accept that, I think.
Yeah,
So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But it's a no. So we move. I'm sort of all done, or I think I am, and then I'm getting backache and bloating and so on, which obviously scares me ever so slightly considering what happened to Kate. So I get scanned, and then they discover that I need a full hysterectomy, so the whole lot.
Right.
So I had that in October last year. So
it's like a year ago now.
Yeah. So that absolutely everything. They moved my uterus. They did everything. So it just. Ovaries, fallopian tube, everything came out. They shaved my bowel. It was all messy in there.
And what was the rationale for that?
So I have had endometriosis for a long time, and I had the coil in, but of course that puts out some progesterone.
Yes.
And my cancer was 8 out of 8 on progesterone and estrogen.
Yep.
So I had to have it taken out. The minute they took that out in the January, my problems restarted with the endo. When they scanned me, they just said everything was stuck together, was their words. So I had that done. So now I'm fully in menopause, along with Katie.
Yeah. Cheers, ladies. Let's cheers.
Cheers to menopause. When you're not even at mammogram age, it's brilliant.
Yeah. It's true. It's very true.
So we're all there. So then the only issue I've got really going forward is that I am on tamoxifen. When you've had an oophorectomy or a hysterectomy, Katie had an oophorectomy also, they tend to put you on an aromatase inhibitor once you are postmenopausal. So an anastrozole, letrozole, you'll know about this. I've never been moved on. I'm still on tamoxifen, and I've asked why, and I have not had an answer. The truth is I've never actually seen an oncologist.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I've
Mine
seen
too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you're really cross about it.
Collectively, I'm going to, because that's...
It's crazy. Obviously, I used to go with my sister to see them. I know how it works. I know, I know the waiting room. I know the oncologist.
You did get an appointment recently, didn't you? That said oncology.
Yeah, it said thank you for agreeing to see this patient. Because I've not had chemotherapy, they say that I don't need to see a clinical oncologist. Because of my sister, I queried that and said, look, I need to talk about quite a lot of things, and going forward, especially because Kate wasn't looked at, and I know that was the time that it was, but I don't want to be left either and suddenly go in with a chronic symptom that already means we're too late. So I have tried to push for that just so that I can have these conversations and are all my symptoms menopausal? Is this all correct on the medication that I'm on? Am I on the correct medication? I'm now postmenopausal. So I did put in a complaint to PALS that culminated in, we will get you an appointment with an oncologist. I went there last month, and I was called in again by the radiographer, not the oncologist. So I'm still fighting for that literally as of today.
So who's your point of contact then? So obviously, we're no evidence of disease currently
correct,
at this point. So you're on open access.
Yes.
So do you have a touch point then with
I do. I don't think it works.
Okay.
I asked this specific contact as soon as I'd had my hysterectomy, will I go on to a different treatment?
Yeah.
They told me yes, and told me to stop the tamoxifen and that I would get a new prescription. I had nothing for 3 weeks. Then I got a call to say no. Then I went for a mammogram. And the doctor said, and of course you're on tamoxifen. And I said, I'm on nothing right now and he said, oh, you need to get back on the tamoxifen. So I just started retaking it. He said he would get in touch with the oncologist. He would find out an answer for me if that's the correct route. I then phoned again in January because I've still not heard if it is the correct route. I'm just popping them. So I say, am I supposed to be on the tamoxifen? Oh, I must get back to you on that. We'll have a chat. So when I put this complaint in, I actually got the news that the Open Access had contacted the oncologist, and two of them, they'd had different opinions. So a guy in Hull and a guy in Grimsby, where we're from, they'd had different opinions. One had said keep on the tamoxifen, one had said let's start an aromatase inhibitor. I was then supposed to have an appointment and have a chat to be able to decide for myself.
Yeah.
It's never happened. They apologised that it hasn't happened and booked me this appointment last month. It still hasn't happened.
But now you're still in exactly the same position as you were before.
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
I'm on tamoxifen, but I don't know if it's correct.
But that level of continual advocacy, you know, because you've taken steps to address it. It's not that you're sitting back and going, oh, well, I don't know. And I, you know,
and I think we both learned from Kate. Kate was very, they'll do it when they're ready. I'll like wait. And we're both... She
was really nice. She would take them cakes all the time, and she was very thankful. Even when they said it's terminal, I'm really sorry. Thank you. I said, why are you thanking them?
Okay.
But we've sort of learned from that, as in we want to take that away and be able to
a
push
bit more
for
forceful.
ourselves and make sure that if there is a question that we've got, we are going to ask that question.
Yeah. So I have done, but it hasn't actually got me any further.
But you haven't actually
I think you've had a better experience with oncology.
Yeah.
But then obviously your reconstruction has been wild. And I didn't have to do that.
I feel like we need to go on holiday.
Yeah.
Is what, you know. But okay, so now I know there's recency in your own story.
Yeah.
So
well, if I start back so I finished my chemotherapy in 2021, and then I had made the decision for myself that I would, when I had my mastectomy, I wanted immediate reconstruction, and I went down the road of the DIEP.
Yep.
So I was seen by a consultant who obviously gives you the statistics around how it might work, how it may not work. But I went for it anyway because that was what I wanted. At the time I was 39.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought I wanted moving forward. So I had the mastectomy in the September 2021. I actually went into surgery as a 39-year-old and came out as a 40-year-old. It was on my birthday.
Was it?
Yeah.
A 40th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, apparently they sang it. But obviously I didn't hear them, which was great.
I mean, I'm glad you didn't hear them.
I know, that's what I said afterwards. Yeah, that's what I said. So I went in to surgery. Unfortunately, when I came out of surgery, which is why they managed to sing Happy Birthday to me, I came back onto the ward. The blood wasn't flowing right, so they took me straight back down to surgery to try and resolve the issue, which was then an overnight surgery. And then I woke up the next day believing that everything had gone okay.
And you've lost a whole day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it had, to a certain extent, it was okay. But over the next 16 days, so I stayed in hospital for 16 days, and over that time I had 5 more surgeries to try and save the flap. It didn't, and the last one, the 5th one, was to remove because unfortunately it just wasn't right at that time for me. So I ended up flat for 2 years, which was fine. I had a prosthesis. I managed okay with it. I was quite top heavy myself, so I was very uneven, and I was very conscious that I was uneven. So I wore the prosthetic, and
you even had a wet and a dry one, to be fair.
Yeah, I had one for swimming.
Yeah.
Aqua boobs.
Yeah.
Just to go for anyone who doesn't know about
that. So I will tell you a funny story quickly though, because the first aqua boob I bought was like a sponge because I wanted to make sure that I could wear one first. So we went on holiday, and put it in. First time I wore it, got in the swimming pool, everything was fine. Got out of the swimming pool, still all was fine, until the sponge decided to empty out. As I'm walking from the pool, in front of everybody, looking like I am having an accident.
Yeah.
So,
Just this constant,
yeah. And I was thinking, okay, so I need to squeeze when I leave.
preferably, covertly.
I had the prosthetic for a couple of years. I then had, I found that it was quite heavy and I was struggling with my back a little bit. So I had a reduction on my left side so that it wasn't as heavy.
Yes.
And then I had some more reconstruction. So I opted for an LD flap. So,
What's an LD?
So
a lettuce restore site. Yeah.
So they took the tissue from my back. And touch wood, that is all still fine. So I had that done last November.
Okay.
And then recently I've had some lipo modelling.
Yeah.
So lipo filling just to try and even me out
Pad
a
it
little
out a
bit.
bit.
Yeah.
So, but I was working out, I was saying to Anna, I worked out from the beginning of my journey until now, so January 21 until now, I've had 11 surgeries.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it?
It's a huge amount.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount. Yeah.
To do with, so obviously, the lumpectomy at the beginning, lots of reconstruction, oophorectomy, lipo, just a little bit of lots
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And here we are today. I'm a bit speechless, I'm sorry, because there is so much in here. Like there's so many, as I said at the beginning, there are so many common threads that join you, that create this shared experience. So you can talk without having, you get it. I think anybody's had cancer, you just get it. But also, I am never failed to be shocked at different situations, and also how different both of your journeys were.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So do you think how you manage things is similar, or would you say that actually because you're different people, right? You've had shared experiences, but totally different people.
Totally
so
different people,
do you ever go, cool, I could never do that, or I would have done this, or...
Well, I did offer to shave my head when Katie...
when I was going through chemo.
I was like, would you like me to shave my head? I've seen my sister, it's all right, we can... And she said, no, that's absolutely fine. Then I rang her up and said, Katie, I've got Brett. And she said, oh no, please don't ask me to shave my head. It's only just growing back.
I love you, but not that much.
Yeah, and I did say, it's not something that I could do again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love that was a no.
I love you very, very much.
Yeah.
It's a definite
But I was
no.
just starting to get some growth.
So yeah, that was a difference.
Yeah, that's a clear difference.
But no, I think I don't know. What would you say about how we've dealt? I mean, I think
I'm more emotional than you, maybe more openly emotional sometimes, aren't I? But I think I did say to Anna at one point, it's, I would never ever, you wouldn't wish this on anyone, but actually having that person that's so close to you,
fully gets it,
who fully understands and is able to, on those days when you just need somebody, having that person there who can respond, and we laugh with each other, we cry with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
It's a nice thing. It's not a nice thing.
No, I get it.
It's taking something nice out of something that's...
Absolutely.
That's not.
Absolutely. And I think just the fact as well that like you were 30 something when you were diagnosed, I was 30 something when I first went, my sister was 40 something. None of us were mammogram age.
Yes.
Not one of us was anywhere near.
Yeah.
That was the thing that they said actually out of my complaint recently. They said if your sister had been under 40 or you had another sibling or a parent, then we would have done something in 2021.
Yeah, but when she went back, how old was she when she was fighting, when she was...
Well, I said the issue with that is she was in her 40s, but mammogram age doesn't start till 50.
So what's the difference?
So where's the grey area between 40 and 50? If you've got a sibling between 40 and 50, it just doesn't count. They're not old enough for a mammogram and they're not young enough for you to be tested. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this 40 to 50 thing is. And that just doesn't, you know, because by the time I was diagnosed, I was 40 something. You were close, you know, and so we're all in this middle ground where we're not allowed mammograms, but we're also not deemed young enough to warrant extra
But actually,
testing.
that we're hearing so many more younger women are
definitely.
diagnosed, and so this kind of what is it 50? I mean, you know, I'm never going to get to that state. I don't have boobs anymore, so. But I didn't have any routine screening. But is it 40?
50.
Yeah, sorry, 50. Is it 50?
Yeah.
So
It's 50.
at what point do we reevaluate and go, it might be beneficial for us to get in front of this?
Absolutely.
You know, because we're placing a lot of this kind of focus on early detection and our own accountability of our own bodies.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about dense breasts or larger breasts, or where there are people that have cancer and don't know they have cancer because they can't feel a palpable lump.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there is this space.
And they say under 40, the mammograms aren't, you know, accurate because of dense breast tissue. So again, okay, that's under 40. What are we doing between 40 and 50? It just, I don't know where we're at with that.
Yeah, I've not really had to think about it, right? Because I think I had one mammogram. I had very small boobs, very, you know. So it's fairly uncomfortable to mammogram them anyway, right? Bet, yeah. So I was like this. I've only had one, and then the snowball happened, and then you know, so I haven't had that kind of ongoing experience, or that's not been my narrative. But actually, listening, it just seems like that's a really key.
We get them every year at the moment, don't we? Yeah. But it's a 5 or 10 year situation. They'll sort of reevaluate that. So then we could still have quite some gap before we hit the 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So again, that doesn't sit quite right.
Okay, so let's just bring it back around the kind of self-advocacy. What I'm hearing is, Anna, you still have to really fight to
100%.
be heard and listened to, and kind of banging on all doors. Yes. How have you felt similar in your experience, or actually you've had a...
I feel like, for me, my journey was opposite to Anna's. I got my diagnosis. I was sort of told I was having the lumpectomy. I had the lumpectomy when they said that then obviously they found the extra tissue. Then chemotherapy happened quite quickly. The mastectomy happened quite quickly. The radiotherapy happened. I actually finished my radiotherapy exactly a year to the date of my diagnosis. So all of the first part happened within a year. Yeah. And everything happened quite smoothly. I moved on to the oncologist. The open access team has been fine for me. I had a little bit of a hiccup myself, more for myself afterwards, thinking I could feel something again, and they got me straight in. Did the ultrasound, checked everything over, reassured me that everything was okay. So in that respect, we have had different journeys.
Because that's what you want, right? That you just want, you know.
Same hospital.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask
Very much the same, yeah.
But different team?
Yeah, different surgeon, different...
Right, okay.
Yeah. And my breast care nurse was very good, I must say that, from when I was diagnosed and you assigned your breast, she was fantastic. But the minute you're done with that person and you've passed on to open access, and this is the bit that I'm struggling with, is the open access. So I will say that my breast care nurse was fabulous, and whilst I had her on board, that was brilliant.
I feel for me, I had more support around, so I had a Macmillan nurse that I would talk to. I had I went to the breast cancer now support group. Yep. I did a hope group. You haven't really been offered any of those things either, have you?
No.
And so you were offered them, or you found them off your own back?
So some of it was offered through the Macmillan nurse.
Right.
But it was very much open to me. It was suggested to me that maybe I could go down that route. That would help me. And
you were signposted?
Yeah.
Right.
I've never seen a Macmillan nurse. No. Well, I have for my sister, but not for me. Yeah, so I've never...
So, yeah.
There's such disparity between your experiences, and actually, you've had the same hospital.
The same hospital.
Okay.
And I know that some of sort of part of it, it shouldn't necessarily mean that because Anna hasn't had the chemotherapy, she hasn't gone that deep in, that she's not able to have.
Because
that's the only thing that I
can see this difference.
Yeah,
that I can see was that I had a little bit more treatment, so was I able to access more things maybe.
And I do understand that chemotherapy is a whole new level. I do understand that, you know, like I say, I literally did it with my sister. But I think with that as well, with the fact that I've got that situation, I haven't got another sister. We can't get another sister tested or another, do you know what I mean? So the one sister I had has got this, and then I've had it. I don't know how I'm not then entitled to some form of.
But even that itself, this should be a universal approach to care.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And we shouldn't have to tick certain bits to be afforded honest and open conversation with
it's
a healthcare professional.
Chart, isn't it? Or if you go that way, you can have that. And if you go that way, you can have that. But it's not, is it? It's everybody, how you feel and what you need at that particular time.
Yeah. And I just wonder, you know, nationally, I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of, you know,
no chemotherapy,
therefore no onco. You know, I've never heard of that. So I wonder, how big a piece that is.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. Well, it's in writing from the complaint meeting that we had as well. So.
Goodness. Yeah. Okay. Can I shift gears a little bit and bring us to, I suppose, current day and the impact on how we feel about stuff, the psychological impact of cancer. Now, I know they're not mutually exclusive because you're still right in it, right? You're still having to fight. So actually one links to the other. It's not like, well, I'm fine now. And that's a huge part of it. But in terms of, you know, the lasting impact that cancer's had on us as our esteem and sense of identity and sense of self.
So we were having a bit of a conversation about this, weren't we? Because I'd said something just in passing to my husband the other day about something, and he said, I didn't think you'd be thinking about that anymore. And I think a lot of people, once you get to a point where you've been given the all clear, so to speak, that you're done, you're finished. And I don't think that will ever be the case. It might get slightly easier to move forward through the day and not think about things as much as you might do. But like I said to him, I think it will always be there.
Pops into your head daily, doesn't it? In one form or another.
And some things, it pops into my head because I laugh about things, experiences that I've had that make me laugh, or that I remember something. But also, there is still a little bit of anxiety, I suppose, that pops its head up every now and again and sort of reminds you that it's happened and it's always going to be part of your life. It's your story now, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, I think there's much more awareness, which is great, obviously, and especially this month with it being the cancer awareness and everything. So, you know, it's everywhere, isn't it? On the TV, on the radio, in stores, and you automatically see something and you think, oh, that's me. Like we did it when we went to Leeds, didn't we? And there was a pink baby. Oh, it's us. Do you know, we took a photo. Do you know? So you're reminded anyway, even if it doesn't pop into your head. But I think daily you think of something that's related.
And I think the impact on your family as well. So. I've got 2 children. My daughter's still in secondary school, and most of the time she's absolutely fine. We're very open in our family, so we've talked about everything from the off. But she had an experience at school where they were talking about something in one of her PSHE lessons, and she came out and she said, I had to take 5 minutes, Mum, and I didn't know that I would need to.
Oh, bless her.
I think as a mum, it sort of breaks your heart a little bit, but also I'm so proud of my children for the way that they've dealt with everything and still carried on. And I do think it's made them more resilient.
Yes, they've had this major thing happened, but now you're back to, you know, holidays and, you know, and you can, obviously you had that time of your life wiped, didn't you? And then, but now you're back to doing what you do and they can see that you're doing what you do. And I think it's... And
it hasn't affected them too much that they can't carry on with what they need to do in their lives.
We'll never know, will we, really, the impact on those around us, like especially, you know, kids, because they present different ways all the time, right?
Absolutely,
and one might be, you know, super communicative about it and one might not be, but it doesn't necessarily mean one's doing better than the other one. It's just, I think it's a bit like us. It's an ongoing journey, I don't like that word, but you know, it's this, some days you're gonna feel it more, some days you're not gonna feel it as much. And actually they've got their own lives, and if they're having conversations, or if they're triggered because they see a situation that reminds them of something, none of us are immune to the impact of our past. And so it's hard.
I guess it goes back to what you were saying earlier, lucky, unlucky, but the fact that you'd had it and was okay. When I got diagnosed, obviously, I had to tell my children and my brother-in-law and my nieces and nephews, do you know what I mean? And my parents. And thank goodness, because I could use Katie, because if the only example they'd had was that somebody died, that, you know, so it's back to the lucky, unlucky thing.
I hadn't even considered that part of it, but actually,
that was...
because
interesting.
because cancer equals whatever you have been through from an experience, right? So if and from a support function, you're going to have to also be hyper aware of that. So how valuable this, for both of you, this relationship is. So you finished chemo.
I finished chemo in July 21, and then I had the DEP in September 21. So there wasn't a lot of time between the two.
So would you have liked longer then?
I think, looking back, I wish I'd have waited a little bit longer.
Okay.
Obviously, they needed to move because it was a mastectomy. So they wanted to get the mastectomy done, but to have the reconstruction, I don't know if my body was quite ready for it, and that's maybe why it didn't take, it failed. You never know, do you?
You don't. And also, I think historically, I think there was a definite, I don't know, because it wasn't my experience, but what I understood was that you could have a delayed reconstruction and you could have an immediate reconstruction. Speaking to surgeons of late, I think there is far more, I don't know, they're talking about the benefits of immediate reconstruction versus otherwise. Now, I don't know if that is because of, I don't know why that is. No. But it's tricky because what we're saying is sometimes having a bit of extra time to let your body repair, recover, let your head get along with the program, because my body was doing what it needed to do, but my head wasn't with the program, you know, it caught up afterwards, I think. And allowing a bit more space allows people to make the decision that's right for them with what they know. You know, and then you might have wanted to have your squeezy boob forever. You might have gone, I'm quite happy with my ankle boob squeezy one.
But so having had the failure, I still felt that need for a boob. I don't know why. I just still felt like that was something that I wanted to do, but not straight away. After the experience. So 2 years later was when I then was ready to go
that was
again.
So that was prompted by you. You said, "Don't touch me for a little bit."
Yeah.
Bugger off.
Yeah. Right. I'm fine for now. Yes. I'm happy the way I am.
Yeah.
Because like you've just said as well, you go through all of these treatments, appointments, everything is so fast paced. And then all of a sudden it kind of stops and everything slows right down, and you've got to try and get back to normal, whatever normal is now. So I went back to work, sort of tried staying at home, being mum again, and doing all of those things, taking the children to clubs, doing the things that you normally do. So having that break from all of that fast-paced allowed, I think, my mind to catch up with where I actually was in my life. And at that point, after that catch-up, I thought, no, I definitely still want to try this. I want to do this. And I think because I'd had a little bit more time to digest what happened before as well. Yeah. And then we went again, knowing more, I guess, this time about how it could fail again. I think I'd made the decision that if it fails this time, that's going to definitely be it. I don't know where they would go to get anything else, but I'll go again, I'll see. And luckily for me, it did work this time.
Boobs are funny, aren't they? 'Cause what a statement. Boobs are funny. but they mean different things to different people, you know, and how much of a big part they are in our lives. And that's not always dependent on the size of them, right?
No.
So
I think for me, it was more because I was so uneven.
yeah.
I think if I'd have had no boobs, maybe I'd have felt differently.
Yeah.
But because I was so uneven, I think it meant more to me.
Yeah, I totally respect that. I absolutely, and we hear that quite a lot, actually. People that have a single mastectomy and choose to stay flat, but they desperately want symmetrizing surgery, you know.
Yeah, one way or another.
Right,
exactly.
Absolutely,
And, all or nothing.
And there is a real need for that conversation to be...
Because they often won't take the good tissue,
they won't take healthy tissue,
No.
but at the cost of someone's mental health and self-esteem and all of those things, because I think we adapt. You know, humans are adaptable, so we adapt to what we need to. But when you're consistently reminded visually, every day of something that was symmetrical the whole of your life, and then suddenly not, there is a real physiological, impact. Your physicality completely changes. The way we walk might change. And your body, feels different. Doesn't necessarily feel... I didn't feel like my own body for a long time.
No, absolutely
so you're being pushed and prodded and almost... You're not allowed to have any kind of response to those things. You just are a body that needs fixing. Right? But yeah, I think definitely having more of a conversation about the importance of this, because it's such a big thing.
And it's not talked about really, is it? About the symmetry or about... can we do this or that? Or,
I think you start off as well thinking, just get rid of it then. Like, I absolutely will let you do anything to me at all to get rid of it. And then once you've done that, that's fine. But once you've done that, you don't quite feel yourself.
It's a different problem then.
It is a different problem, yeah.
And
entirely.
as much as at that initial point you want to just get rid, now I would like to be me.
Yes.
And how do I go about that?
Yeah.
Having said, just take it. So, yeah, it's rearranging your mindset a little bit.
For you, it's definitely been a confidence thing as well, because you were conscious of clothes and things. Like, you've just bought that beautiful dress, but you wouldn't have bought that a year ago.
No.
What's it like?
Well, it's got the one shoulder, because I still like to cover this out. I've still got quite a bit of scar tissue. Yeah. But yeah, it's
more fitted and
nice.
Yeah, and I actually, although I'm still slightly uneven, I don't think about it now. Whereas before, because there was nothing, I remember somebody saying, I won't say who, but I remember somebody saying to me once, I'd gone out and I put on a dress, and went to a family occasion, and I had a dress on and a vest top, and I'd pulled the vest top up to try and sort of hide, and it had slipped down, and someone said to me, "Oh, you can see your scar," and I wasn't bothered. And I don't think they were bothered. They were thinking they were helping, and for me, I was a little bit like, oh, then I was self-conscious.
I mean, there's a difference between, I say this a lot, the difference between intention and impact, right? Because actually someone's intention, much of the time, even when people come and say seemingly kind things to you, but the impact of that, you go in, I think that's keep that to yourself, those kind of things. Yeah. But people generally don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable, but sometimes actually they do inadvertently, because then something that you weren't bothered about.
No, I was definitely then more self-conscious.
Yeah, of course.
But no, I feel like now I am definitely more of myself than I have been for quite a long time. And whether that's...
No, I'd agree with that.
Whether that's because I'm feeling more confident because I have had the surgery and I do feel more even. I don't know.
And you've got hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Anna did once, I'm going to have to tell the story. Anna did once suggest magnetic hair, and she did try with Kate.
Yeah, I got a can of basically iron filings.
Which made quite a bit of mess, and Kate did warn me when I said I had to go through chemo. please, if Anna ever gets that can out, just say no, thank you.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a good move.
Problem solving.
Yeah, I was really
mean,
trying.
That's resourceful, and I think those are positive attributes. Okay, I'd want a friend that did that. Okay, so yeah, hair loss is a whole nother doodah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Conversation for another time. I'm glad we're all sitting here with her.
Yeah.
And, okay, so let's bring it back to a bit of reflection then. Okay, so if we could tell our pre-cancer self something, or maybe if we could have done anything differently, now we know the wider picture of what was to come. I know that's a really broad and difficult question, but does anything jump out to either of you?
I think for me, it's just, if you know something's wrong, you do know something's wrong. Don't just take a quick check. Go back the next week. Don't think you have to leave time, or, you know, if I'd have gone back, was I precancerous? Could I have just, do you know what I mean, had less treatment and not the surgery? And, you know, my mother-in-law's friend, she was sort of on that borderline, and she had about 3 sessions of radio. So it's still something, but not as much as you know, what I've had, Katie's had, my sister, so on. So don't wait, because, you know, it could have been less, and it could have been found even earlier, and so on and so forth. And I think for me, it's about, especially women in their 20s, 30s, for like, just because mammogram age isn't until 50, it means nothing, and I'm not sure why we're there, but I can't change that. There's already a petition online for mammograms to go down, which obviously we've signed and so on. But that's all I can say, is when you know. I literally had blood tests 6 weeks before I was diagnosed, because I was just dizzy and off it, just not well. I couldn't put my finger on it, just not well. And everything basically came back okay. There was a slight thing on, I don't know, folic acid or something. And I just got a phone call, you're fine, you just get some over the counter, and that was it. And I'm like, but I still don't feel well. But nobody was listening, you know. And 6 weeks later, I'm diagnosed with breast cancer. So I knew, but I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? But I just had a fit. I was not well. And I think that's it. It doesn't have to be a specific, and I know it's difficult to go to your GP and say, I'm just not well. But I think you do know. And although you can't say I've got, you know, a terrible back pain or a stomach pain or a constant headache, because I didn't have any of those things, but I was dizzy, I was off it, I was, you know, just go back and back and back.
And that brings us full circle to, I suppose, courage.
Yeah.
The courage to keep, you know, beating that drum.
Yeah.
And being the advocate for yourself, even when medical professionals are saying it's okay.
Absolutely.
You know? And so it's just, if you know, you know. And we spoke to a wonderful surgeon, and she was saying around, get a second opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you are entitled to a second opinion.
I heard that on your podcast, and I said that's the thing. If I'd have heard that at the time when I was feeling, you know, I think I'd have gone back.
Yeah.
And so if that gets out to anybody, that's the point. You are entitled to a second opinion, and you do know yourself if you're not quite right.
Thanks, Anna. And Katie, what for you?
For me, what would I tell myself? I think just keep going, because no matter what the end for you looks like, you can keep going. You can get through this. And I think because I did quite a lot of my sort of treatments and things on my own. That's what I had to keep telling myself, you can do this. So for anyone else who's feeling like, ooh, you can do these things, you have got the courage to do it. It's digging deep and finding it, isn't it?
Yeah. You can apply that to everything.
Absolutely.
My mantra is, you can do hard things. You can do hard things. We went to a theme park in the UK, and I was with my kids, and a very famous ride that I just not, you know, but I was on with my son. My daughter had the sense to not join. She was watching us from afar with my son. And I went into complete autopilot, and I started saying out loud, I can do hard things, I can do hard things, I can do. And he looked at me, 12 at the time, going, oh. But you can. Yeah. In those moments of fear, whatever that is, and I'm not trying to minimise it by talking about a bloody roller coaster, but you can do hard things.
Absolutely. Started learning the piano. That was hard for me. That's what I wanted to do, and all the way through, I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take piano lessons just learning my grade 1 now.
Yes, I love this. Right, cheers to menopause, cheers to piano,
cheers.
and cheers to second opinions. Ladies, thank you so
Absolutely.
much. I knew I would enjoy this. This is a really, unique dynamic for us.
Oh, you're
Thank
ever
you.
so special.
Thank you.
No, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Brilliant.
Thank you for having
Brilliant.
us.
You're so welcome. Cups and Courage shares honest, personal stories of people affected by breast cancer. The views you hear are those of the guests and host and don't replace medical advice. If you're concerned about your health, please speak to a doctor or healthcare team. Cups and Courage, the podcast.